What's up? What's up? All right, cool beans. Are we live? I think it's getting there. Yep, looks like we're getting there. Are we getting there? Let's see here. All right, cool. What's going on, everybody? I mean, come on. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Come on now. All right. What are we doing here? Okay, are we connected? Okay, here we go. Anything else? Nope. All right, cool. Come on, y'all have to admit. That's really good. That's some good stuff there. Is it not? Come on. I mean, who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like that? I mean, seriously, getting jiggy with it. All right, cool. Okay, look, do me a favor. Share this video. I do have, as usual, I do have some stuff to share with you, and I'm going to share the stuff with you tonight. And don't be too distracted by my little homeboy here. He's just celebrating. I mean, he has a reason to celebrate. All right. Hey, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Will Johnson. I have a website called UniteAmericaFirst.com. UniteAmericaFirst.com. You can get beautiful merch like this on my website and other. I just created one today. Created one early this morning, and it says life wins. Life wins. This is a win for life. I mean, it's crazy that I'm even saying that, but it is a win for life. And so all day, I just been doing these little short videos throughout, just been doing these little quick short videos, just because it's been a really positive day. Today's been an extremely positive day. But, I still have to talk about the left because that's my job. My job, Ephesians 5:11. I encourage you to go look it up. I found out that's my job, Ephesians 5:11. And I'm going to try to do my job to the best of my ability. I am. Ephesians 5:11. If you have a Bible, get it, look it up. Ephesians 5:11. All right. I'm doing my job. So don't be mad at me for doing my job. So I did a video last night because I was compelled. I literally was. I was compelled last night to do this video. And in the video, I was like, I don't know why. I'm just being really compelled right now to do this video. And I titled it, DC on high alert. I titled it that last night because the only reason being because I know exactly how the left acts, how they react to certain things. And when they don't get what they want, and when it's something this big, this colossal, this huge, this out of this world, when it's something beyond their beliefs, like their understanding, they tend to act violent. And I did, I didn't even know that they were going to do it today. I had, there's been talk that they're possibly going to do it today, Friday and going into the weekend or possibly Monday even, but they did it today. So, but last night I was really compelled to do this video saying, is DC on high alert because of how violent they are? With that said, let me share something with you. This is in DC. This is taking place in DC, where you have the police pretty much mounted up, marching through, going to the state capitol to protect it, the state capitol and the Supreme Court, because they're right beside each other. They're going there to protect it because they know Antifa, BLM, they're going to be they're going to act out. They're going to completely act out. So you have to bring all of these police officers in to protect the place, the people, right? Because it's completely different. You have conservatives and Christians. They get upset, but they don't burn down buildings. They don't, attack people in the streets. They don't burn vehicles. They don't just be completely destructive like Antifa, BLM, and the leftist movement. The leftist movement, they're completely violent. But so you have to bring in these police officers like this to, try to keep, stuff in order. But last night, I said it's DC on high alert because I saw it coming. And now we have Antifa. They're using these umbrellas so they can hide themselves from the cameras because they don't want to be seen. They have on masks because they're going to be violent. I told y'all. And you know what? The thing is it's not like I told you so. You already knew this. I'm just reaffirming it, right? But now it's actually happening. I said it last night. They're going to be violent. And now we're starting to see it, right? Because Antifa is not a peaceful group. They're out here fighting for death. Listen to what they're saying here. So if we don't get it, burn it down. You hear that? So if we don't get what we want, we're going to burn it down. I've told y'all this is exactly how they are. This is exactly who they are. And they're literally saying, if we don't get it, burn it down. So if they don't get what they want, they've already called for burning it down. And here's another one. They're saying pro-life is a lie. We don't care if people die. This is the left. Now, my question, one of the questions that I have, you have all of these leftist media outlets, and you have even Facebook. There's a lot of leftists. Even, Mark Zuckerberg admitted when he went up to the Hill that the social media companies are left leaning. So do they all agree that pro-life is a lie and they don't care who dies? They don't care if people die? Are they the same people? Are these the people that work at these tech companies that's out here saying this? Because, they're constantly censoring conservatives. Look how bad they're censoring me. I mean, this is ridiculous. And all I'm doing is showing information that's actually happening, right? I don't even have to give you my point of view. I really don't. I could just show it to you and you can come up with your own conclusion by what they're doing and what they're saying. Saying pro-life is a lie. Basically, their life is a lie. I mean, that's what pro-life is about, life. They're saying pro-life is a lie. And they don't care if people die. Are you kidding me? These are the people that the left always say that they're being peaceful. That's not being peaceful. They're saying they don't care if people die. They don't care when the baby in the womb dies. So they most definitely don't care if you're a Christian conservative. They don't care if you die. Right? So what happened to them a minute ago when they want to take away all of our gun rights? Right? They said that they care about people dying then, but now when it comes to protecting the unborn child, they don't care if people die. Pro-life is a lie. We don't care if people die. That's what they're chanting. That's what they're chanting. And then, of course, you still have Antifa going down the street. This was earlier. This is the same group that I just showed a second ago holding umbrellas, and they have masks on so you can't see their face. So when they start going out and destroying stuff, you won't know who they are. And they got this sign, they cannot control our bodies. And that's not even what it's about. It's about going to state. If you want your state to support killing the unborn child, then you can, go to a state like California or New York where they champion it. They embrace it. You're saying right to life is a lie. We don't care if people die. This is the state. And you know what? Like, I mean, I told you I was coming. I told you this was going to happen. I told you this was the case. These people are violent. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Because see, in some parts of the country, like on the East Coast, it's already starting to get dark. It's starting to get dark here. They've already been putting memos out left and right talking about this evening they're going to go out and riot, right? It's like they've been waiting for this moment to go out and riot. Here's one example. This is in Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Look at this. They're already out here burning the American flag, right? They're out here burning the American flag, and they're not burning it because of freedom of speech, right? To my understanding, like you can burn the American flag if you're doing it for freedom of speech, right? But in this case, they're not doing it for freedom of speech. They're doing this because they want the United States of America to fall. They want the United States of America to crumble. That's the reason why they're doing this. And you know, all of these people that are going to be violent out there, they're opportunists. They're just waiting for the moment, the time for they can go out there and be violent. Now, let me just go to the next one here. Here's Nasty Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, she's up. She's so angry. She's like, what is happening here? What is happening? All I can see is just imagine Satan finds out that that they're not going to allow you to just slaughter babies left and right, and it blindsides Satan. And you know, Satan knows that, you know, people were pushing against it. She knew that everybody's pushing against it, but when it actually when it happens, she's like acting like she's blindsided, talking about what is happening, like they're losing control over taking the lives of children. This is crazy. Is it not coming through? Okay, hold on. For some reason, my audio is not coming through, is it? Yeah, what is happening here? So that's what she's saying, but for some reason, my audio is not coming through. Hold on. Let me fix this. Everything else, they hadn't really been saying anything. They've been chanting. It's like not a really good time for my audio to be jacking up. Hold on one second. Okay. Here we go.
What is happening here? What is happening here? Woman's fundamental health decisions are her own to make in consultation with her doctor, her faith, her family, not some right-wing politicians, but to see the Chief Justice side with this radical agenda.
You hear this? They're calling it radical. When did saving a life become radical? Can someone please let me in on that? When did saving a life become radical? That doesn't make a lick of sense. She literally said that saving, you know, in the contents, saving a life is radical.
Her faith, her family, not some right-wing politicians, but to see the Chief Justice side with this radical agenda. It's just stunning. And again, as a woman, as a mother, as a grandmother,
as a demon,
to see young girls now have fewer rights than their moms or even their grandmothers is something very sad. If you're a woman, if you care about women, if you respect women, you know that this is a disgraceful judgment that they made.
It's not, you know what? All they did was follow the U.S. Constitution. And you know what? It's not even the fact that they actually did this, right? You know what they're more afraid of? Is that all of the other unconstitutional rulings that they got the Supreme Court to pass in the past could very well go away. This is huge. Them overturning Roe versus Wade, this is huge. Allowing the states to make the decision, this is huge. Because other things that the federal government has been pushing onto the people could very well go away as well, which is huge. And they're terrified of that. They don't know how to react to that. They're having a major issue with that because they're thinking like, same sex and just other things. And what's really amazing to me is how they try to make it where it's racially related. They literally say that this is all because of racism. And I'm gonna prove it to you tonight. But here, let me share something else with you. This is from Joe Brandon. And Joe Brandon literally has to tell his people, which are not going to listen to him. How many times have y'all known for them to listen to Joe Brandon when he tells them to do something? They're not going to listen to him. So Joe Brandon is actually going to tell them not to be violent. Don't be violent. I mean, seriously, he sounds just like a demon when he does it, right? But he's telling them not to be violent, knowing good and well they want to be violent.
To reconsider the right of marriage equality, the right of couples to make their choices on contraception. This is an extreme and dangerous path the court is now taking us on. Let me close with 2 points.
Listen.
First, I call on everyone, no matter how deeply they care about this decision.
He calls on everyone, no matter how deeply they care about the decision. Like he's suggesting those that want life are going to be violent as well. That's not the case. If anything, they end up having to protect themselves, protect their life, if anything. But he's trying to suggest that those that are pro-life that are going to be out here being violent as well. That's not the case.
No matter how deeply they care about this decision, to keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No intimidation. Violence is never acceptable. Threats and intimidation are not speech. We must stand against violence in any form, regardless of your rationale.
Regardless of your rationale. Seriously? He really just only needs to direct that to his people, to his demons, to the demons that are like him. That's the only people he needs to direct that to. But you know what? They're not going to listen to him. But see, demons will protect demons, but demons are not going to listen to them. They're going to be violent. They've already called for violence. Let me give you an example. Have y'all seen the one with Mad Maxine Waters? Of course, she had to come out and be violent. She's going to literally say that the millions of people are going to hit the street, and specifically black women. But yet, I don't see a whole bunch of black women out there. And let me bring up something else real quick before I play this. The population of the black population in this country has never gone beyond 13.9%. Never gone beyond. It's never hit 14%. Never. It's never hit 14%. That's the magic number. Based on this ruling and based on what's happening, the United States of America can finally have at least 14% black people in the nation. How many black people you think would be against that? I mean, seriously, there are some out there. There's some out there thinking that this is racism to them because you can't take the life of a black child any longer. They're really acting that way. But listen to Mad Maxine Waters. Listen.
You see this turnout here? You ain't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Women are going to control their bodies no matter how they try and stop us. The hell with the Supreme Court.
Y'all hear this? See, and again, this is not taking the rights away from women. It's not. If you're a woman and you want to butcher your child, then you can go to California. I mean, California is not going to stop butchering their children. I'm guaranteed that They don't have to worry about it ending in California because they've already said that they're not going to stop butchering kids in California. But she said the hell with the Supreme Court. They're part of the judicial system, right? We have 3 branches of government, and they are the judicial system. So they basically want to alleviate one of the branches. Like, nope, we only want 2, the White House and Congress. That's it. We don't want another one. They want to do away with it. She's literally saying it, and she's saying it because she's angry.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them. Women will be in control of their bodies. And if they think black women are intimidated or afraid, they got another thought coming. Black women will be out in droves. We will be out by the thousands. We will be out by the millions. We're going to make sure we fight for the right to control our own bodies.
So how many black women do you know are going to go out there and start burning up stuff? I mean, there are some, I'm sure, because, you have BLM. The leaders, the creators of BLM are black women, and they capitalize every single time they go out and riot. Every single time. So there's going to be some out there, but this is not something that black women should be like, oh my goodness, we're losing our rights, because you're not. This is going to help the black population. Can we get past 14%? Can it happen? Imagine how many doctors that they've destroyed. Think about it. How many doctors like Ben Carson? Now there's doctors come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. But how many people that could have done so many successful things that they've eliminated? They don't even want to talk about it. Look at AOC here. AOC this morning, she's out there chanting with a whole bunch of communists, and listen to what she says towards the end of this.
Illegitimate! Illegitimate!
So basically they're saying this decision is illegitimate. Now, then they go take to the streets, and she just automatically starts clapping because she pauses. I want y'all to pay attention to that. But then she ends up joining them talking about take to the streets. And we know every single time the left takes to the streets, it's not to be peaceful.
Illegitimate!
See that?
Into the streets! 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 Into the streets!
So when the left says into the streets, we know very well that they're talking about going to the streets because they want to be violent. That's the only reason why they're calling people to go to the streets. That's the only reason. They're not going into the streets to be peaceful. Seriously, they're not. They're not. They're not going to the streets to be peaceful. Y'all like my little buddy here? Y'all like my little buddy? Come on now. Come on now. Come on. My little buddy, come on. Dude's getting jiggy with it. Okay, let's go on in here. Let's talk about hypocrite. Nasty Pelosi's literally going to call the Supreme Court justice hypocrites, and she's suggesting. Let me just play it. Listen.
It's such a contradiction. Yesterday, the states cannot make laws governing the constitutional right to bear arms.
You know why? Because it's in the Constitution that the people can bear arms. That is in the Constitution. It's called the Second Amendment. Again, I keep saying this. These people should have to take a test in order to fill any position in any political position. They should have to take the test, and the test should consist of the Constitution. Make it multiple choice. Like I said, the Second Amendment is what? And then have it multiple choice that you can remove guns is only for hunting. Seriously, there should be a test. And it's not necessarily that they have to pass it, but once they do take the test, or maybe they do. Y'all decide. I'm just saying, I'm just coming up with the idea there should be a test that they all should have to take. My point is that after they take the test, it should be made public for everybody to see, for the world to see. It should be made public. So when they violate the U.S. Constitution, you can go back and see how they took the test, How did they rate on the test? And then they should have to take it. If they, every single time they win, they should have to go back and take that test, and it should be publicized. And then every single year that they win, that test should remain. If the scores got worse or if the score got better, it should show to everybody. But listen to what she says. Listen, it's a short clip. I'm going to stop it this time.
It's such a contradiction. Yesterday, they say the states cannot make laws governing the constitutional right to bear arms. And today, they're saying the exact reverse, that the states can overturn a constitutional right for 50 years, a constitutional right.
It's not a constitutional right. There's nothing in the Constitution about it. The Supreme Court, all they did was turn it back over to the states. I mean, abortion still exists. Abortion is still happening. It just means the states get to decide based on the Constitution. Gun rights, they did it based on the Constitution. Same thing here. But Nancy Pelosi, she's the hypocrite. All of them are the hypocrite.
For a woman having the right to choose. The hypocrisy is raging, but the harm is endless.
Yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to stop it again, but I had to. But I mean, seriously, she, along with all the other Democrats, have a major issue with this problem. And like I told y'all that they were going to be violent. They're going, and you know what? They're just getting started. They're getting started. They are getting started, and more is coming. I'm telling you right now, more is coming. Now, listen to Joe Brandon here, and he's going to put his head down, like, but don't let him fool you. The only reason why he put his head down because he messed up on a teleprompter. So he tried to act like he's really emotional about not being able to take the life of a child. Don't let him fool you. Watch.
Some without exceptions. So extreme that women could be punished for protecting their health. So extreme that women and girls were forced to bear their rapist's child.
And let me say this before I continue with it. And you've heard this before. If we go along with the 1% of the rapists and the incest, can we say no to the rest that use it for birth control and not taking responsibility for their actions? You know, people get pregnant because of their actions. They just don't walk out the street and boom, oh, pregnant. It's not happening. It's not happening. Right? They don't want to take responsibility for their actions. So if we say yes to the 1%, can we say no to the rest? They don't want that. They want it across the board. They just want to murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. That's who they are. But watch him. He's going to put his head down like he's real emotional about this. But he messes up on the teleprompter, the reason why he does it.
With the child, a consequence. It just stuns me.
It just stuns me.
It just stuns me. So extreme that doctors will be criminalized for fulfilling their duty.
You hear this? Doctors will be criminalized for fulfilling their duty. I mean, they're butchering. They're butchers. They're not trying to save a life. They're butchering lives. And they're going to be prosecuted. You know, anybody who murders should be held accountable. That's the way it should be.
To care. Imagine having a young woman have to carry a child of incest as a consequence of incest.
Less than 1%.
No option. Too often the case.
Nope.
Poor women are going to be hit the hardest. It's cruel. In fact, the court laid out state laws criminalizing abortion that go back to the 1800s as rationale. The court literally taking America back 150 years.
That's him trying to say that we're going back to slavery, which in actuality, this should make all the Democrats happy, right? But it's not. It doesn't make them happy because this is going to prevent them from killing as many black babies as they have for the past 50 years. That's the problem. See, that's their problem. See, before slavery even ended, black people would have children. They weren't aborting the children. The father was there for the child too. Even right after slavery, the father was there. The father wanted to be there to raise their family. They wanted to have a family. The unit, the family unit, mother, father, children. They wanted that. But the Democrats don't want that for black people. That's why they don't want it to exceed 14%. And now it looked like it's going to exceed 14% because of this ruling. And they can't stand it. And you don't believe me? Listen to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood went on MSDNC livid about this because they should, you know what? Because now it's not at the federal level. Because Planned Parenthood was getting money at the federal level. All that money should come to a screeching halt. Think about it. We're talking about billions of dollars no longer going to Planned Parenthood. And because it's no longer a federal mandate, per se, they should not be able to reap any benefits from any money from the federal level any longer. Because now it's up to the states. Now, if the state like California want to give money to Planned Parenthood, then that's the state of California. And y'all and the people in California, y'all need to vote and make the change. Which, you know, California, you're pretty much screwed there because, you know, they're going to do their thing. Like, you know, Nancy Pelosi don't even have to run. She just they're just going to put her name on it regardless. Nancy Pelosi could be pushing up daisies and they'll still, you know, usher her in. I'm telling you, that's just the way the politics run in California. But listen to Planned Parenthood here.
Look, I'm telling them what we have been saying. We will not go back and we will not back down. We are going to take this fight to every single state and let people understand what is at stake right now, coming into this cycle, coming into 22.
So what is this fight that they're going to do, right? Because anytime they say conservatives, you know, we need to fight, stand up and fight for our rights, they say that conservatives want to be violent when we know that the left is 100% violent. So is she calling for violence too? I would have to say that she is. They're calling for everyone to go to every state and be violent because that's their MO. That's who they are.
Every single person who is running for anything is going to eat this decision for breakfast. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to.
You hear this? She wants all of the politicians to use this to try to push out Republicans that want to save lives, because this is billions and billions of dollars that goes to Planned Parenthood that should go away because no longer federal government can fund it. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, that's the way I understand it. It's no longer a federal option. It's back on the states. And if the state doesn't want to fund Planned Parenthood, you can't force them. This is a beautiful thing.
Not stand on the sidelines anymore. There is no opportunity.
See that? They're telling people don't stand on the sideline anymore. But you know, these communists haven't been standing on the sideline. They haven't been. They've all been pushing it. They've all been pushing the taking of the life ever since. Now, of course, they always have to interject racism into this. They always do. They've already come out before and said that white people wanting to save black lives is racist. They've literally said that. I can't remember where the clip is. I wish I'd have had it right now, but they've literally said that white people wanting to save black lives is racist, which doesn't make a lick of sense, but this is how they think. Let me play this video for you here. And you have to just listen. Listen, I'm doing my job. Ephesians 5:11. That is my job. Ephesians 5:11. I found Will Johnson in the Bible. That is me. I am owning it. Ephesians 5:11. Listen to what they say here. Listen to what this demon says here. Because again, they always have to interject racism.
They've already said they're going to go into each state and make sure step by step that they're going to take away abortion rights altogether. So I think this is the beginning of the end for many, but it's also, and one last thing, going back to what was said with Laura and the history, when we look at the history and they put forward these statutes from the 1800s of women who were denied abortion rights.
You hear this? Back to the 1800s when women were denied abortion rights, right? Back in the 1800s, you know, women didn't want to destroy their children at that time. They didn't want to. Now, have there been cases of certain things happening, you know, possibly? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's not even possibly sure. But they're trying to make it to where people can just do it, walk anywhere and just do it, right? I mean, it's demonic. But listen.
These statutes came at a time of nationalism, and that's what we're in right now. We're in a period of nationalism.
You hear this? This nationalism, like, it's bad for white people to want black babies to survive. That's literally what she's saying here. We're in a period of nationalism.
And that's what we're in right now. We're in a period of nationalism in which every white baby counts, because they're not thinking about the people of color. They're thinking about population growth, knowing that by the year 2045, this country is going to be majority people of color.
You hear this? You hear this? So let's dissect that for just 1 second. She said that white people are concerned that there's going to be more people of color in the country by 2045 than white people, right? More people of color.
People of color.
By 2045. And this, with them overturning Roe versus Wade, is like they're only thinking about white babies. Oh my goodness. 63 million babies slaughtered by these people. At least what they said, at least 32 million slaughtered by were black. Again, so how does that make sense? So when they say that, the population being more people of color in the nation, they're not talking about black people. See, that's the whole point. Genocide has been happening against the black community ever since Margaret Sanger. Ever since they've been doing genocide against black people. Now, black people have the potential of hitting 14%. Is anybody else talking about this number? Is anybody else acknowledging it? That black people can actually start multiplying without dying. We can exceed 14%, 16%. It would be nice if black people can at least do 20%. Maybe that should be the magic number, at least 20%. Can we get 20%? But they don't want that. They say that more black people being born into the world means that there's going to be more people in poverty. Well, instead of trying to encourage them to be, in the ghettos, in the project, won't you help out with more education? That's exactly what President Trump was trying to achieve. But they didn't like that. They hated that. I mean, look, it's unbelievable. She's literally saying that it's literally for white people. Like, this is going to benefit white people only.
From the 1800s of women who were denied abortion rights, these statutes came at a time of nationalism. And that's what we're in right now. We're in a period of nationalism in which every white baby counts, because they're not thinking about the people of color.
But that's what they're thinking about, because they know that people
of color,
literally black people, that's who they're butchering the most. Y'all see this, right? Y'all getting this, right? Y'all seeing this. I'm not the only one just seeing this. And they get on there and lie, and the rest of them on there just, yep, And they're like looking at it, and what it is, you know what it comes down to again? They do this to see who can be the most compelling in their lies. I'm telling you, that's exactly what it is, because she's literally lying, but they're all on there going right along with it. Who could be the most compelling with their lies? And then you have Joe Brandon. Listen to Joe Brandon here as he talks about 150 years, right? Again, like we're going to go back. Like, this is basically what he wants to say, is they're going to put y'all back in chains. That's what he wanted to say. He said it once before. Listen to him.
In the 5 decades that followed Roe v. Wade, justices appointed by Republican presidents from Eisenhower, Nixon, and Reagan, George W. Bush, were among the justices who voted to uphold the principles set forth in Roe v. Wade. It was 3 justices named by 1 president, Donald Trump, who were the core of today's decision to upend the scales of justice and eliminate a fundamental right for women in this country. Make no mistake, this decision is a culmination of a deliberate effort over decades to upset the balance of our law. It's a realization of an extreme ideology and a tragic error by the Supreme Court, in my view. The court has done what it has never done before, expressly take away a constitutional right that is so fundamental to so many Americans that had already been recognized.
But it's not a constitutional right. They didn't remove anything from the Constitution. And they're counting on people that are stupid to believe everything that he's saying. It's not in the Constitution. They didn't remove anything from the Constitution. All they did was get everyone to adhere to the Constitution. That decision is made by the states. Let me give you another example really quick, if I can. You remember they were trying to do the John Lewis Act or the People's Act, and they were trying to federalize the elections. Basically, they wanted to take it right now, as of today, because of the Constitution. Each state, they do their own legislations. They have their own legislators. They do their own ballots, right? They have their own voting system in each state, and then it funnels up to the federal government. Well, they wanted to take all of that away from the states, the same way they did the option for people to do Roe versus Wade. They want to take all that away from the states and just allow the federal government to run the elections. That in doing so, they would have done away with the Electoral College, because every state have their own electorals. They want to do away with that. They wanted to say the popular vote. So you know how they do how a lot of votes come in. They would just bring as many as they want, and then boom, bam. Be the same thing for the rest of the history of this nation. It would never change. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to federalize it. The same thing they did with Roe versus Wade. They wanted to federalize it. And now it's no longer federalized. It went back to the states the way the Constitution intended it to be. Same thing with our voting rights. It's at the state level, not the federal level. But they count on people not understanding that.
The court's decision to do so will have real and immediate consequences. State laws banning abortion are automatically taking effect today, jeopardizing the health of millions of women, some without exceptions. So extreme that women could be punished for protecting their health. So extreme that women and girls were forced to bear their rapist's child.
And again, like I mentioned before, if we can say the 1% on that, can we say no to the rest? Can we? I got one more for you here. Listen to Nancy Pelosi here.
This morning, the radical Supreme Court is eviscerating Americans' rights and
The radical Supreme Court. The radical Supreme Court. Sorry, I had to stop it. I'm going to let it go.
This morning, the radical Supreme Court is eviscerating Americans' rights and endangering their health and safety. But the Congress will continue to act to overcome this extremism and protect the American people. Today, the Republican-controlled Supreme Court has achieved their dark, extreme goal of ripping away a woman's right to make their own reproductive health decisions. Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, they're super.
You hear this? Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, because they put Supreme Court justices in place that would adhere to the U.S. Constitution. This should be another wake-up call, because they're so angry right now that they haven't stacked the courts. They're angry. And I haven't heard them come out and talk about it yet, but you know that's what's on their mind. They want to stack the courts to prevent the American people from having the Constitution. That's exactly what it is, and she's angry about it. Look at her.
Majority in the Supreme Court, American women today have less freedom than their mothers.
Not true.
With Roe and their attempt to destroy it, radical Republicans are charging ahead with their crusade to criminalize health freedom. What this means to women is such an insult. It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment to make their own decisions about their reproductive freedom. This is deadly serious.
So my question is, if you're a woman, an actual woman, not someone playing like one, you're an actual woman, I would like to know, what rights do you not have? I mean, I really would. What rights went away? I mean, because that's the angle that they're pushing right now. They're pushing it like women, all these women have lost their rights. That's how they're acting. All right, so it is Friday. How about we do this? It is Friday. How about we do a phone call? Let me see. How about I open up the phone line? Are y'all down with that? Y'all down with that? All right, hold on. I'm gonna open up the phone line here. Let me get it ready. All right, so let me get it set up here, and we'll take a couple of your phone calls. Oh wow! And we already got. I haven't even got set up here, and it's already people already logged in. All right, so let me see. Okay, hold on. What I'm gonna do is let me change it on my system here. So I'm gonna put the lower third. I'm gonna change my lower third here, and I'm gonna put the phone number down there. So hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, before we go on to that, but first let me say thank you to Sherry. Thank you so much, Sherry, for the Facebook stars. Thank you so much. Kathy, thank you so much for the Cash App. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Victoria, thank you so much for the Cash App as well. Thank you so much for the blessing. Shirley, thank you so much for the Facebook stars. Thank you so much. Denise, thank you so much for the stars as well. Thank you so much. And then Cindy, thank you so much for the stars. Thank you so much, Cindy. And then Tony, thank you so much. Laurel, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much, Laurel. And then we have Kathy. Thank you so much, Kathy. I really do appreciate it. And then, okay, Mason. Mason, thank you so much for the blessings. Thank you so much. And I think that's it. Okay. Okay, so the number is down in the ticker. Y'all see my little homeboy here? Y'all see my little homeboy here? Come on, y'all have to admit that's good, right? Come on, that's good. And that's pretty good for today. You know, my producer said, I like it, but I was laughing at it, but it's really distracting. It's all good. It's all good. My little homeboy here hanging out. Give me some dap. There you go. All right. The phone line is open. The number is down in the ticker. If you want to holler at me, the number is there. All right, let me fix the issue here. Okay, there we go. All right, let me unmute it. All right, we're going to go to our first phone call here. And looks like our first, I hope I got everything set up right. You know, I don't do it every day like I used to, so we'll see. But we got our first phone call. Looks like it's Tevin from Pennsylvania. Let's see. You there, Tevin?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Will. I'm here.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for the call. First of all, tell me what you think about my little man here.
I think it's funny. I first saw that. I just saw that. I'm like, that's pretty funny. I thought it was genius, to be honest with you.
I appreciate it. I don't know if anyone else is doing it, but I'm like, you know what? This is perfect time to throw my little man out here. So.
I agree.
So what you got?
Okay, so first of all, this whole Roe v. Wade thing, it's crazy. It's it's just it's a good thing. It's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
You know, it is. You know, I am really against abortion. I do not think it's right to kill a baby no matter what. But I do hear what people say, like, oh, what if, like, you know, what, like, pretty much what Biden was saying, oh, what if the person was raped and everything like that, and you know, it's still like what if the person was raped and they still keep carrying the rape as a child, and it's not right. But then you know, there's things like you could put them in foster care, and you know, I've heard stories that people there's women out there who still want to take care of that child. But you know, I just don't think it's just right to just kill an innocent life. And you know, it's really upsetting. And it's just I just feel like abortion is just evil in my opinion. But then they'll say, oh, you don't understand their struggle and you don't do that. But then sometimes, you know, when you don't protect yourself, when you sleep with someone, you know, that it's kind of your fault, you know.
I mean, people should be right. People should be held accountable for their actions. Seriously, that's what it comes down to. It should be if the rape happens, then whoever did the rape, that person, the raper, right? They should be held accountable for their actions. When people do stuff, you should be held accountable for your action. If someone drinking, they get in a car and they go down the street and they get in an accident, they should be held accountable for their actions. But they don't want that when it comes to this, right? They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. They want to be able to be as sinful and demonic as they can be.
That's right. And also, before I go, I want to say one more thing. I know you have other people waiting. I noticed something about liberals. You know, they always complain that that they're pro-black. They're always for people like you and me. But then they support this thing called abortion, which was created by a racist, which was Margaret Sanger, a Democrat, which she wanted to eradicate Black America for good. You know, you understand? You ever notice that logic? If you just think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So, well, hey, Tevin, thank you so much for the call.
All right, no problem, sir. You have a good one, Will.
You too. Take care. Have a good weekend. All right, let's go to Angie from Missouri. Hey, Angie, thank you so much. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
I know. It's been a while, Will.
Yes.
We're just too busy anymore. You need a whole line of babies down there dancing. We need a party after this turnover. We need more than one baby dancing down there. We need to celebrate. This was a huge win.
It is.
To turn this all back over to the states.
Yes.
Personally, I am tired. I should not have to finance your abortion.
Exactly.
I had to do that when it was a federal mandate.
Yep.
I had to pay for that abortion.
Yep.
Now I no longer have to pay for it.
This should save us money on taxes, right? Save money in our pocketbook, right? And would you agree? Would you agree now that this is not at the federal level that Planned Parenthood should not be able to reap any benefits, any money from the Democrat Party, right? I mean, that's the way I perceive it, right?
Exactly. There is no federal financing for this anymore. That was my comment about I do not have to pay for your abortion any longer.
Yes.
My taxes will not pay for your abortion.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Secondly, Will, you know, we're going through another heinous thing in Washington, D.C. right now.
Another what?
With this J6.
Okay,
we're going through another heinous situation.
So hey,
right
let's be real careful because they're still taking people's channels down and stuff like that. When you bring up this stuff, I hate it. You know, I hate it. But they've targeted me already, and they're still targeting me. And as soon as I start talking about that, then they'll start attacking me. Yeah, no, and it's not your fault. I mean, it's disgusting. We should be able to talk about it. We should be able to have freedom of speech. Maybe it would be nice if the Supreme Court say, you know what, freedom of speech exists across if you're an American citizen, if you're on the internet, if you're walking in the public square or the internet virtual square, freedom of speech applies and they cannot hinder you. But that's not the case today.
Exactly. My last comment now is if we accept murdering children like this, with these communists, They believe in getting rid of non-productive people in society.
Oh, yeah.
Children,
Yes.
our babies, are non-productive, so we can abort them. We can get rid of them.
Yep.
This opens a Pandora's box in the future to do away with disabilities
Yep.
and senior citizens.
Yep.
They're next on the list.
Yep. You know, they've
So,
done that in
yeah.
the past in communist nations where they've killed people who have disabilities. They would murder them, right? And the same
Right.
thing here. If they find out, or in this case, they've already made it publicly known that they want to remove Christians, conservatives from society until they can be reprogrammed. And once they come back, they're going to come back even with more vengeance. You know, they're not going to let this go.
Well, no, I mean, and to blame Trump for this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the insanity level anymore in this country is just beyond me. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't get it either.
But anyhow, Will, thanks for the good program tonight.
Thank you.
And hooray, God answered prayers.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
answered prayers.
Absolutely.
All right, well, have a good night.
You too.
hon.
Take care. Okay, everybody. Hey, check it out. The number is below in the ticker there. The number's in. So if you want to call in, don't be scared. I don't bite. The number's right there in the ticker. Look, it's right there saying holla at me. It just, holla at me. It's right there. It's right there. It'll come back around. So just make note of the number and give me a call. Tell me, what do you think? If there's someone out there that disagree with the ruling of the Supreme Court, I really would like to hear from you. Tell me why you think this is a bad thing that the Supreme Court did. I mean, please give me a call. Now, me personally, if you've been watching the broadcast tonight, you can tell that I'm happy about it. My little buddy down here is happy about it too. But if you disagree with the ruling, by all means, give me a call. Let's talk about it. All right. Let's go to the next caller here. Look like we have a new caller here. The last four is 5296, 5296. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Alfred Feliciano.
Alfred?
And I thank God that unborn babies are alive and well, and our Father God is more powerful than any human government.
I completely agree. And
besides, Brother Will, my wife and I, we send our thoughts, love, and prayers to you and everyone in Unite America First.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me ask you, what do you think about my little buddy here?
I love it. My wife loves it. And not only that, I'm going to say this about Joe Biden's son, Hunter. And this is more, I'm not using our Heavenly Father's name in vanity, but I'm going to say this. His son, Hunter, is going to suffer the same fate, just like his communist Argentinian buddy, the late Diego Maradona.
It's going to be interesting. You know what? If these evil people, if they don't suffer their fate here, when our Lord Jesus Christ returns, either way,
amen.
Either way, when Judgment Day comes, these evil people will have to answer for their actions. So,
brother, believe me, I'm not wishing nobody harm.
Yes, exactly.
But Hunter's heading the same way. And when I lived in Puerto Rico for many years, I've heard about Diego Maradona, Argentinian soccer player who loved communism. Heck, he even loved Pablo Escobar from Colombia's cocaine and Fidel Castro. Between the both of them, they make more money on those than McDonald's selling hamburgers.
I believe it. Well, hey, thank you so much for the call.
You got it, brother.
Thank
May
you.
God continue blessing you and exposing the truth.
Thank you.
Because we may be living in the last days, and God has the ultimate say-so.
Absolutely, 100%.
And we're going to have you in prayer.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You got it, brother.
Right.
God bless.
God bless. Take care. All right, so we're rolling through. We're going to go to the next one here. So, all right, look like we have look like we have another new caller here. The last four is 4235, 4235. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Washington State.
And your name. Just give me your first name.
Julie.
Julie?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for the call, Julie. What you got?
Thank you for accepting my call. I just want to say that here in Washington State, they have made the awful decision to continue on having abortions. Please pray for our state, Washington, because this is horrific.
Yeah. You know what? That's the sad thing about all of this. There are going to be some states, you know, and that's how it is. There's some states that's going to continue to butcher children, right? There's going to be some states that are going to do that. But the nice thing is, hopefully, you know, if it's not a state like California, you can make a difference when you go to the box, right?
Yes. Yes. God willing, everything's going to get better soon. But in the meantime, we are asking for prayer. We need it in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Everything here is just going crazy. Seattle is out of control.
Yep.
And, you know, we don't know what to do because I live on the east side. And I'm really scared for our state.
Yeah. You know, yeah, you're there kind of like Antifa country because you have Portland right there. Yeah, you're real close. Antifa is really bad, infested there like a plague.
And even Planned Parenthood has put out the message that anybody that wants to have that done, they will pay for them to come over here and do it. Yeah,
because they make money from those parts. So they make money from those parts. It's already been exposed. It's not nothing that I'm making up. Project Veritas exposed them.
Yes.
Well.
Oh, Lord. Well, I just want to thank you for taking my call. And I want to say how brave you are to come on every night and expose the truth. I really love listening to you. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for that.
God bless you.
God bless you. Take care, Julie. Night. You too. Take care. Okay. Look like we have another new caller here. And this one is not giving me a number. So hopefully the person will get it. Hello, caller. Are you there? Going once. Going twice.
Hi, Will.
Okay.
It's Megan.
Okay, just
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
Okay, so just what's your first name?
Megan.
Megan.
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Long Island. I can hear the accent and I love it. What you got, Megan?
I just want to know because I don't really watch TV anymore. I haven't really watched TV since about 2005, but I did hear about the Roe v. Wade, and you do send me emails. I need to know, was New York in that they voted against the Roe v. Wade or they're for it?
So in New York, they I think it was like 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, 2, maybe 3 years ago, New York passed it to where they can abort the child right up until birth. So what happens now is that each state, they can make the rule based on the way they want to make it. Right. So, for example, like New York, everyone in New York, y'all can go to the poll and vote on it. It should go to the ballot in each state. Each state should be able to determine if they want to do it. States like New York and California and probably even Chicago, possibly, I would imagine so, because, you know, the killing that goes on there. But states like that, they're going to continue to butcher children. They're going to continue doing it. But then you have places like Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Utah, and a few other states that are, you know, already saying, nope, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. So we're not going to butcher children any longer. And that's what they're upset about.
Okay, so New York is still approving abortion then? Yes.
The only thing that changed in the state of New York was that the state of New York was putting all of these policies or putting these prerequisites in place for you to be able to own a firearm to protect yourself. They said that you have to have special reason in order to have a firearm to protect your life. Whether the Supreme Court came back day before yesterday and said that is unconstitutional. Nowhere in the Constitution say you have to have a special need in order to protect the life that God gave you. So they're upset about that. But as far as abortion, each state gets to decide the way the Constitution is written, how they want to proceed with that.
Okay, so New York is still a bunch of morons when it comes to abortion then.
Unfortunately. But you know what? There's good people in New York like you. And there's a lot of other people in New York, right? So the thing is, y'all need to mount up. We can't this is not the time for us to get comfortable and say, yes, we just won and we're done. This is the time. Right. This is the time we need to mount up and fight for more of our God-given rights. So.
Yes. Yep. See, the reason why I guess I take it to heart because I was adopted and my mom was a victim, not so much rape in the way of rape, but she went out with a guy. She was young. She was about 16, 17. He was married with 3 kids, what I heard. And then, and then she got emotionally involved or whatever, but he took advantage of her. And, back then, they didn't really abort babies, so that's the only reason why I'm here. So, I mean, it's a woman's right, yes, to have sex. Well, not spiritually. I mean, spiritually, no, absolutely not. You cannot, biblically, you can't do that. You have a husband, whatever, but, just for the sake of doing, no, absolutely not. I need to refrain and look to God, and, but the thing is, what was I going to say? I hear what you're saying. It is the right. It's the woman's right, and that's the one thing I will fight for women to have their rights. But it's really interesting to me is that they're out here saying that this is taking women's rights away when it's actually not. But they don't say anything about women's rights when you have a grown man putting on a dress or wanting to compete against them and a sports athlete as a sport athlete. They don't say nothing then about women's rights. Then at that point, they want to take women's rights away. Women come secondary to a man that's wanting to act like a woman. And they have the nerve, the audacity to bring all that up. It's crazy. These people are crazy. So, well, hey, Megan, thank you so much. Give me a call again, okay? I typically take phone calls on Friday night, typically. All right? So, hey, thanks so much. All right, thanks so much. God bless. All right, thanks for taking my call, Will.
Yeah, take care. Okay, let's go to, I believe this is Susan from Louisiana. Is that right, Susan?
Yes.
Hey, Susan, thank you so much for the call. What you got?
Well, I was just saying that I agree that they shouldn't have all these abortions and all this stuff because, it's just actually in the Bible, it would be like killing somebody, And I just don't feel like that is right and, totally against the Bible.
I completely agree. I completely agree. It is not right. It is not right. But, they don't care about it being right or not. All they want to do is to be able to take the life of the most innocent of us all. It's pretty disturbing when you just think right down to it, right?
Yes, and they will end up to answer for it. I mean, whoever it is that is over it and agrees upon doing all this stuff, and the person that does do it. I mean, I'm not saying they couldn't ask for forgiveness because they can, but I mean, everybody will give an account for everything they do, whether if it's good or bad. Exactly. And so I'm. No, they will. That's in the Bible. That's what it says. So, I mean, it's just bad.
It is.
And everybody does do stuff wrong. It says all sin and fall short of the glory of God. But, I mean, it would be like taking a life.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. Because it's a heartbeat. The heartbeat is beating. Yeah. The heartbeat is actually beating, and they want to end it. So. Well, hey, Susan, thank you.
The only way would be if The only way would be if it would be that their life would be endangered, or they were really young and they were raped and all kinds of stuff like that,
A lot of people say there might be some exceptions when it's incest or rape, but that's the number. That number is so small, and we always get the left bringing that up. But then when you bring up the point saying, okay, let's say we agree to that, can we say no to the other 99%? And as soon as you do that, then they want to shut down, and we're like, dude, what are you talking about? Like they can't. It doesn't register in their mind that it's such a small number. So they try to bring that up. So
I want to say at one time, it may be more now, but I think at one time, way back, for sure. Anyway, I've read it somewhere, and it says that 1 out of 100,000, I think they said, far as that would be. Oh,
well, you know what?
Or maybe,
yeah, and you know what? And you might be right, and it wouldn't surprise me because the violence and the crime has been growing ridiculously.
Yeah,
it has been growing. We've been seeing with so much crime. Yeah, so I wouldn't be, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me. But when they first came out with the numbers, it's been less than 1% when they were talking about that. But yeah, it could very well be more than that now. But even then, even if let's say it's 5%, can we say no to the 95%, right? But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They want to just destroy all of them. So, well, hey Susan, thank you so much for the call. Okay.
Okay, and
all right.
God bless you.
God bless you. Take care.
God bless the United States of America.
Yes. All right, let's go to Mandy from New Zealand. What's going on, Mandy? It has been a minute.
It has been. I'm glad they've absolutely overturned this. It's about freaking time. It's only the federal law that's overturned it. It still can be state. So all these, how would I put it, low of a good IQ people should just pull their panties up and get over it. That's the easiest way to say it. Look, Biden's sitting out here and he's saying, this is their constitutional rights and we can't take them off them. Well, you better remember that when it comes to the guns as well, Biden. Okay, right. Just saying, it's your constitutional rights, and you can't strip the right and even the meaning of it at all. Again, we can keep going back to the pro-abortion, pro-life, and we can keep going back and forth. We need positive reinforcement, just like you've got to give positive reinforcement to a little toddler.
Yeah.
Okay? We've got to treat these people like toddlers. So we need to go around wearing MAGA T-shirts, make adoptions great again. Like the lady who was in here before, who said she was adopted. I've adopted a child out. My sister's had an abortion. I've gone down these avenues. I've looked, and I'm pro-adoption. I'm not pro-life. I'm not pro-choice. I'm pro-adoption. Okay, even though it's sort of kind of pro-life, I just take a different mentality strike at this. And
so you say you're not pro-life.
I'm not pro-life. I am pro-life, and so let's get this right. I've just taken a different stance in this.
So
okay?
how are you?
I'm not.
I just want to understand, how are you not pro-life? Because we're alive right now. I'm just trying to understand your position on that.
Why I'm saying this, I'm using a different tactic, okay? Instead of being on the pro-life side of the fence, okay, there's more than two sides to this, okay? There's the pro-choice, there's the pro-life, but then there's the pro-adoption, okay?
Well, I would have to argue and say that pro-life is pro-adoption. So when women have these children and they can't do it.
Say you're pro-life, right? We come back with a bat at our head. So I'm just taking a psychological different approach. I'm going to go pro-adoption.
Okay.
And I'm going to push a good, hearty message about what's good about adoptions.
Yeah.
What's great about adoption?
Well, I see your point. Pro-adoption, but that's still, the way I see it, that still means that you're pro-life, because you can't adopt them if they're not alive. And let me just say this, and then I'll let you go. And then when they say that they're pro-choice, there's only two choices. It's either life or death. So, and you know, a lot of people say, well, I'm not pro-choice, I'm pro-abortion. And you're saying you're not pro-life, you're pro-adoption. So you see what I'm saying? You see how the connection is?
Absolutely, but what I'm trying to do is stay off the combative path with them.
I mean, you can't do that. How do you do that when if you're anything? Because pro-abortion means you're pro-life. I mean, because you can't adopt them if they're not alive. I mean, I guess you could, but it'd be kind of weird. But
so it's about picking your fight and how to pick your fight. So I could sit here and fight them against the pro-abortion and the pro-life statement. Or I can sit here and educate them. Why is adoptions more important? Where the strength comes from within adoptions. If you don't see the strength now, it's later you might see the strength. So I certainly want to take it. Look, I'm still pro-life. I'm just not saying it in those words. I'm just taking a different approach in this.
So let me understand. So you're not saying it in those words, so they don't be real, you know, so they don't be upset with you.
Partly offended and combatant with you. It's taking that combatant stand away, so they can't be combatant with you or less combatant to you.
Yeah, you know, I hear your point in that, but you know, my position on it, they can care less. If you're pro-adoption, that means you're against them, you know, killing the babies. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I understand your position. And I think a lot of people want to, you know, have the conversation and not, you know, per se make them angry or be combative with them, you know. But I mean, I understand your position, but I don't think they care what's your position. If your position is not for killing the baby, I don't think they care what your position is. They're going to be combative.
Look, you know, not all of them are going to be combative.
Right, that's true.
Every time
that's true.
We come to the table and we can convince one person not to have an abortion, we've just saved a life. And to
I
me,
agree.
Using positive reinforcement to start with, it might not end that way, is super important, because if we can save a life, just even one life, we have achieved something that is profound. Okay, so this is why I've decided to take the approach I've done. I've sat back and I've watched this for years, and I've even watched our laws go crazy. In certain predicaments, you can abort up to birth here. Okay, and I don't agree with this, but having an argument with somebody isn't going to get them to see reason or logic. Okay, they're just going to get more combatant, right? So take away some of those elements and replace those elements with other factors, you create a different scenario. So it's not about convincing them, it's about giving them information so that they are going to go away and think about it. And it's going to play on them. And positive reinforcement, you've got all your T-shirts. So when you walk up the street, people see your T-shirts, okay? And some of these T-shirts leave imprints on people's minds. And then they'll see something else that will trigger them. Oh, I remember somebody with a T-shirt like that. And these are really positive reinforcements.
Well, I have a new T-shirt that I put on my website, and this one says "Life Wins," and this life wins, and everybody alive should be for life, but people aren't for life. And I hear what you're saying, but I think we've gotten to the point in society to where these people do not care about life. And you're right. There are some people out there that's not combative. There's some people out there that will listen to reason about, hey, we should be trying to protect life. But the problem is I think we've gotten to the point to where most people that believe in taking life, they're not going to change. They're not going to change. Most people. And it's very small number that will.
what we've got to do is focus on the ones that will, instead of pushing them further and further away, which is what we've been doing.
Well,
So now we've got to
we actually haven't been doing that. I mean,
we kind of have.
We kind of haven't, because the reason why I say that, the reason why we haven't is because they've been murdering babies for 50 years, right? They've been doing it for 50 years, and not enough people have been standing up. We're not violent. We don't go out and burn up stuff like you see, like they're doing here. We don't do that. We don't burn up the American flag because we didn't get what we want, but they do.
Absolutely, but they don't just do it for this; they do it for other things, and this is why. How to explain? Sometimes you've got to take yourself away from a place, put yourself somewhere else, and then look at it and see where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see what you're coming from, and I mean, I see what you're coming from, and I'm not trying to argue with you. The problem I see with it is that we've been too complacent. We've been too silent. We've been trying to get along with them for too long. We can't do it any longer. Trying to get along with people murdering babies is one of the biggest problems that we've had in this country. It's just one of the biggest problems on the planet. We can't. Okay. There's no compromising with people that's trying to take life of children. There's no compromising with them. It's either we don't do it. There's no like, okay, let's be soft and nice about it and work about it. We've gone beyond that point.
Yeah, look, I absolutely, totally agree with you. But you've got to remember the psyche of these people is totally different to the psyche of you. And that's where we come full circles.
Yeah, they're violent. They're violent. They're hateful. They're evil. They're demonic.
You know how long I've been standing up and talking for things and about things for a very long time.
Right.
Talking even about the gun grab 7 odd years ago, and everyone was laughing at me. I don't think people are laughing today because it is on the doorstep.
Right. Right. What is it? So what are the abortion laws in New Zealand?
Look, I'm still trying to get the full information on, because I'm not really fab about reading in that. I'm not very great, and I don't keep up to date with a lot of things. So abortion is up to 20 weeks, where beforehand you needed 2 practitioners to sign off. You now only need 1. We know 90% of what is left of our practitioners will sign it anyway, because we know what they've been doing the last 2 years. Under certain circumstances, you can abort right up to full term.
Wow.
So we do have some of the from what other people have said and I've heard, because I don't always follow my news here. I hate my government, turn it all off. We've got some of the most ridiculous abortion laws in the world.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It kind of sounds like New York. Yeah, it kind of sounds like New York, because they do it right up until, and I think I can't remember. There was 1 or 2 states here in America where they were even saying that you can do it after the child is born, and they've even tried to do it up to 2 years after the child. It's ridiculous. So, well, hey,
sanity. Look, my perspective is this: the minute you conceive is the creation of life. Okay. And that's my opinion. That's why I never went down the abortion line. And I didn't want kids, and the father didn't want kids. I was lucky I had a decent man that I could actually speak to, who became not just the father of my son, but my best buddy, my best friend in life. Because I sat down and said, hey, look, I'm pregnant, but no, I know you don't want kids. I don't want kids. Here's our options. See, we've become so self-entitled, so self-indulged, and this is what you're seeing dominantly from that side of the fence. Self-entitled, self-indulged, me people. They're me people. Me. It's about me.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it comes down to they don't want to take responsibility for their actions, which we already know. I mean,
and we need to start changing the way of thinking. And sometimes it's not always about what we say; it's how we say it. Okay.
Well, let me say this, because I know I I still do it to an extent. And I know what you're saying, but I kind of like don't hold back on, like, hey, if they're going to be murdering babies, they should be held responsible for murdering babies. I'm not going to hold back on it. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to try to be nice about it or anything. You can't, because they don't care. They're violent. So, well, hey, Mandy, I got to let you go. Thank you so much for the call. Okay. It's been a while, and I really do appreciate you calling me. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's go to, we got another new caller here, 9729. 9729 is the last four. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling?
Hey, my name's Chris, and I'm calling from Pennsylvania. How you doing, Will?
Hey, Chris. Thank you so much for the call. Let me ask you, Chris, what you think about my little man dancing down there?
Actually, I've been listening to your program on the phone through the number.
Okay. Well, never mind.
But,
okay. So tell me, what's on your mind? What do you think?
Okay. Well, let me just say first, today was a big win for God in this country. And it was a big win for life. And I do believe that us patriots, we are winning in the long run. But I've been red-pilled for the past 7-8 years. And I've taken the rabbit hole probably to the bottom that it can go. And a lot of people don't talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that this world, this is Lucifer's domain. And if you go to the bottom of the rabbit hole, and we're talking about the lives of children, we need to start talking about all these children that are being sex trafficked, being across the border, the open border. And a lot of people don't know, when Trump got into office, one of his very first things was to fight child and sex trafficking on that border. And a lot of people complained about him putting, kids in cages. But what they were doing was they were actually DNA testing families coming over to make sure that those children belong to those people. Well, with the border open now, they're saying an estimated between 14,000 to 20,000 children are introduced into child and sex trafficking. And I think today, with Roe v. Wade being overturned, that maybe we can move on to the next chapter. Because I don't care if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, independent, libertarian. Me, I'm a constitutionalist. But I think the mainstream media won't touch this is because when it comes to our children, I don't think what political affiliation you had, this will unite the people of the United States. And I think now, if you remember when they were talking about Q and it was like Trump was supposed to be the savior of these baby blood drinking Luciferians. No, it was made a mockery, but it was the truth. And a lot of people don't grasp it because a lot of the sheeple, they don't understand that this evil exists.
Yeah.
And I think sometime down the line, it's going to take a lot of understanding and it's going to take a lot on us to explain to the sheeple that, hey, this really goes on. See, our country, well, practically the world, they're run by the Luciferian elites. Now, do you know the difference between a Satanist and a Luciferian? A Satanist believes in the rebellion against God, to be an individual, that they don't need God.
Right.
Well, Luciferian believes in the worship of Lucifer himself. But here's the kicker, Will. Here's the kicker. If you're a Satanist and you're a Luciferian, you still have to believe in the existence of God. Because
That's
you
true.
can't have that without God being involved.
True, because even the demons, the demons know God exists.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to talk about that subject. And I tell you what, Will, when I started going down the rabbit hole, years ago, and I finally got down to the bottom of it, this is Lucifer's domain. I mean, he even tested Jesus, said, these are my kingdoms. They all pay homage to me. But you have to worry. And Jesus did the right thing. He said, no. He said, he belonged to, God. He told Lucifer, know your place. And that was, through God's only begotten Son, through his blood, that we can be washed of our sins.
Yep.
But these Luciferians, they know the greatest thing they can do against God is take the life, take the blood of the innocent children.
Yep.
And that's what I just want to get out, because it's been so hard to try to talk to people about this, because people don't want to listen to it. Oh man, that blood drinking stuff don't exist. Yes, it does. And let me tell you something, Will. I have spent many midnight hours crying in my bed, because I know what these children were going through. Like, I try to explain, like, I tell them, okay, do you know what a rape tree is? They're like, no. I'm like, okay. I said, they're scattered all across our southern border, Mexico and the United States.
And you know what? And the media never talk about the rape trees. I mean, I've been down to the southern border, and I've seen them firsthand. It's disgusting. They have their panties hanging from them, the bras, and just other condoms, everything around them is repulsive. And the liberal left never says anything about it, because that they embrace that demonic stuff.
They do. They do. And like I said, and you even go down there, you even see kids' toys, cribs.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen everything you can think of. They've had it down there, and it's disgusting. So, well, hey, Chris.
I mean, I'm 51.
Go ahead. Real quick.
Let me just say one thing.
Go ahead.
One thing, okay? No, I'm 51 years old. I'm in Gen X. I think you're in my generation. But let me say, if you read the book of Enoch, God flooded the world because of the corruption of his blood in humans. And I think our generation is going to be the oldest on earth to see the second coming, because with this AI and transhumanism, I think that is what's going to cause the second coming of Jesus Christ.
I think
because you cannot corrupt God's greatest creation.
Yep, and that's what they want to do.
Well, I'll let you go, brother. Listen, it has been an honor to talk to you. I've been following you for months.
Thank you.
You take care of yourself, and you fight the good fight, patriot. God bless.
God bless. Take care, Chris. Okay, let me before I go on, let me play something else for you real quick, if I can, and then we'll go back to the phone calls. I wanted to play this one here. This is with Kevin McCarthy, and I really don't. I'm not a Kevin McCarthy fan, right? But every now and then he'll come out and he'll say stuff just like Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham. They'll say stuff that like, okay, yeah, I agree, and I think they only do that because they want their constituents to believe that they're on their side. I don't think McCarthy is. I think McCarthy is pretty much an establishment, so he'll probably never talk to me, if he ever finds out. Not that he would find out, but anyways. Listen to what McCarthy says here about after Roe versus Wade in the Supreme Court. I thought it was really good.
Today's Supreme Court decision in Dobbs is the most important pro-life ruling in American history. By a vote of 6-3, the court affirmed that the power to protect unborn life is returned to the people and their elected representatives. The people have won a victory. The right to life has been vindicated. The voiceless will finally have a voice. This great nation can now live up to its core principle that all are created equal, not born equal, created equal. Americans celebrate this historic victory because we know it will save the lives of millions of children, and it will give families hope.
And it would give families hope. And to save the lives of millions of children, meaning that we can finally get over 14% in the black community. That's what I'm seeing. That's the number keeps popping up in my head, that we're actually going to get over that. And of course, you have the left thinking it's racist for white people to want black people to survive. It doesn't make a lick of sense. It doesn't make a lick of sense. And I know there's probably at least one troll on here right now when what I just said doesn't register in their mind. What do you mean black people can be over 14% in the population? What does that even mean? We don't want that. That's so racist. You're just going to put more black people in poverty. That's the way they think. Instead of trying to say black people rise up, come out of poverty, do better, try to be better, they want to encourage them to live in the project in the ghettos. Well, I don't. When I was younger, I used to hang out with some guys, and I didn't hang out with this particular guy, but I came across these other guys, not the ones I was hanging out with, but I came across this group of guys, and they had this mentality, and they would go around and they would call themselves God. What's up, God? What's up, God? Like, we're the creators of all this. And they were so big on black people. They talk about Egypt when it came to black people. They talk about Africa when it came to black people. They tried to say that black people were like the strongest people on the planet, but yet that not a single time that they ever tried to make the communities in America better. They talk all this talk, but they never did anything. They never tried to make a difference. They never tried to make a change. And I'm like, and then they go around, what's up, God? What's up, God? I never forget it. I'm like, they're calling themselves God. And I knew then, my spirit, God told me that these people were demonic. And the same people that had that same mentality today, they can't comprehend about black people being more than 14% of the population because they just only have it in their mind that black people will be more in poverty. The poverty is always going to be here. Give them a fighting chance. You shouldn't be able to make the decision if the person should be able to live or not. All right, let's go back to the phone line here. We got another new caller here, 0220. 0220. 0220 is the last four. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's your first name?
Hello, sir. Oh, my name is Stacy. I'm Stacy Hammond from Texas.
Oh,
Nice to
yeah.
talk to you
Okay,
for the
you're here
first
with
time.
me. Okay, awesome.
I'm up here in East Texas. Yeah.
Okay, what you got
Well,
for me,
I'm
Stacy?
gonna call with a little bit of a story. So, I just got another caller earlier from Washington State, so I just fled here about 6 or 7 months ago back to Texas, where I was born and raised, where most of my family was. I've been gone for about 30 years, but so I left Washington State primarily around, tyranny, around medical tyranny and masking and fear and stuff like that, just wanting better for my kids, and so it just worked out. But this issue is real personal for me, I guess. So I'm calling it. I felt real inclined to call in. So I have a lot of kids, honestly, but my youngest son, Gabriel, it's his birthday today. He's 4 years old today.
Wow.
And he is autistic. Yeah, he's autistic. My youngest two children are autistic. But he was conceived by rape. And it is, when I woke up this morning, I had no idea. I mean, honestly, because I have an adult daughter who's 18, and she was visiting, so I've been very out of the loop of just, like social media of any kind. And I'm very legally minded, so normally I follow this kind of stuff. But I had been, instead, I don't know, I guess moving gravel around and, redoing the carport. But anyway, you know how it goes. So I didn't know. And I woke up to just make a cake and celebrate what was literally the only thing about this horrific time in my life that was anything good, and I know that's hard for people to really conceive, and people, the left wants to exploit women's trauma, straight up people's trauma, period. That's part of their game. They love trauma.
Mm-hmm.
They like to recreate trauma. They like to enhance trauma. They like to exploit trauma for money. And so for me, it was like, I guess I just cannot imagine looking back, as I am a woman that chose to birth a child out of rape. And that's challenging, but looking back for me, there would be nothing left. There would be nothing good about that day or about that experience other than him. And he is just the sweetest child that has ever been. His name is Gabriel, and the Lord is good. Okay, I'm going to tell you that much. And we're about to go in here and have some blueberry muffins. He's still hopping around, you know, nice. But it is literally, they want to rob that, because what actually God is doing, this is my personal opinion about the Lord, and I'm very close to the Lord in my walk, but I will just speak the truth of what the Lord's shown me about the situation, that actually God heals our nation, as we can probably imagine, via love, right? Via children in particular. He tells us over and over in his word that we better be like children when we're going if we want to get into heaven. He tells us that anybody that doesn't provide for their family, he tells us, is going better to have a millstone tied around their neck and thrown into the ocean.
Yeah, when they do it to these little ones. Yep.
Exactly. So he tells us these very serious things about what, and I mean, that's, most people just maybe don't read the word, or they don't know God or whatever, but the Christians especially, it's like, did you just skip over that? We cannot, for any reason. I know it sounds harsh because people want to say, well, what about the mom? Or wouldn't we sacrifice ourselves for our kids? Dude, I'd lay my life down forever.
Oh my goodness. Kid, really. You know, sometimes I see these stories where like these floods are happening, and you know, and then you have two kids that are in the flood, and you know, you're thinking, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna save my children, right? And if I can't save them, then guess what? I'm going with them.
I'll die. Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's exactly. Oh, but we have people. We have there's people on the planet that are like, nope. Just get rid of them. Get rid of them. It's disgusting.
Save the mother's life. I'm thinking, why would if I literally had the choice to live and I knew my kid was gonna die because I chose to live? That is like literally the worst nightmare.
Oh my goodness! Imagine. Yes.
It's one thing if I live. But if I chose to live in spite of it, it's like, that is just the weirdest concept. This whole idea of like, if a mother's life's at risk, I'm thinking, for what in the world? But anyway, everybody has their own choices, I guess, or whatever. But I'm just pleased to be in Texas. It is a refreshing reality. I was happy to come home and there be some more just calmness and people with guns and target practicing and no masks. But this is a miracle that has descended upon our country today. Yes. It happened on my beautiful son's birthday, but I'm just saying,
you know what? That is
a beautiful place, and we're going to be blessed.
You know what? That is absolutely awesome, and I want to thank you so much for calling me and sharing that wonderful story with us, and thank you for being a strong woman. Thank you so much, because that means that says a lot. That says we still have hope in this nation. Thank you for being a strong woman.
Yes.
And thank you so much. Yep. Hey, thank you so much. Take care.
Good night.
Good night. All right, let's see. We got another new caller here. The last four is 0674. 0674. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Alvin. I've called many times, but I guess my number's not showing up right now.
Okay. What's your first name?
Alvin.
Alvin?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What you got, Alvin?
Yeah, abortion became legal a year before I was born.
Okay, you're breaking up pretty bad. Say it one more time for me.
Hear me now?
Is it by chance on speakerphone? Because you're like really breaking up on me here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, abortion became legal a year before I was born. And a doctor targeted me for an abortion just because my mother had a little bit of morning sickness. He was like, oh, well, he said to my mother, if I had known that, I would have aborted you. So, and it was a black doctor, too. So I don't really, care what color somebody is, red, yellow, black, or white. If they support, murdering babies in the womb, I see them as a mortal enemy, because I feel like we should be defending the unborn like we would defend our own lives. And I saw Jay Secular since I was a little kid. I always respected him because he relentlessly I saw him fighting, for the unborn, and it seemed like it was never gonna, like he would never succeed, and it seemed like maybe he wasn't
So yeah, I hear you, and I'm gonna have to let you go because you're like fading in and out just a little too much. Wish the reception was better. I completely agree with what you're saying. Yeah, because these people, we're seeing the demonicness. We're seeing how demonic these people actually are, and you can see the difference. Those that are happy that life is being saved, they're Christians, conservatives, right? For the most part, right? And there's some people that don't believe in God that call themselves atheists, think that, hey, no, everyone should have a chance to life. You know, there are a few out there, but for the most part, conservative Christians, Republicans, all want life, right? But all the demons, people who don't want these children to exist, they don't want that. They don't want that. They want just the opposite. Let's go to Joyce from Georgia. Hey, Joyce, thank you so much for the call.
Well, hey there, Mr. Will.
Hey.
This is Joyce from Georgia. I love that little boy dancing in the corner.
Thank you.
I just wanted to call and say, may God bless you. And ain't God good? We finally won something.
Yes. This is, you know what? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, in the midst of all of this darkness, we have something that shines so bright like this, and it's wonderful. And you know what? This happened during their month, right? Their month of sinfulness. And they're losing their minds right now. They're not even talking about that. They're not even talking about their month right now. They're so angry.
I think most of these kids that's out there protesting, they don't even know what they're protesting against.
Yeah, they don't.
They're too young to even know, Will, what they're protesting
I agree.
against.
I agree. 100%.
You know?
Yep.
They're just going along with the crowd. And it's sad, but crowd's going to lead them into hell.
You know what? They're going to lead that way because of ignorance. Because of ignorance. Yep, 100%.
That's it.
Yep.
They're ignorant. Well, you just have a blessed night, and we'll chalk one up for God.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Amen. Thank you so much, Joyce. Take care. Have a good weekend. Have a blessed weekend.
Night.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, looks like we have another new caller. The last four is 2742, 2742. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm Diane.
Hello, Diane.
From Louisiana.
From Louisiana. I can hear the accent. I love it. What you got, Diana?
I've got an accent. Well, I may play the devil's advocate a little bit here.
Okay.
I'm just totally shocked that this happened so quickly, because yes, people have talked about, pro-life, but nobody's been out marching and tearing stuff up for it. And all of a sudden it's heard and this is overturned, and right before elections. And I'm beginning to wonder ulterior motives about all of this. They're trying to activate the young people who maybe were on the borderline of voting Republican. Well, now they're going to vote Democrat. There's also some other long-term issues I'm seeing.
You think this is going to cause younger people to vote Democrat?
I think maybe some of the younger liberal, in the middle type kids who were thinking, well, I may, vote Republican because I believe in a lot of what they're doing. Well, all of a sudden, we know that people vote because of abortion. And so it's just been stirred up again. These young people, especially the young girls, they're, what if I get in trouble and now I can't get myself out of it? And they're going to say, oh, I need to support this and I better vote Democrat. So there's all kind of facets to this. It's always been a very complicated issue. And something else I would like to talk about. We're dealing now, as we see, with young, mentally unhinged teenagers and 20 and 30-year-olds now. They're unhinged. mentally can't cope with reality of
Yeah,
society.
I agree. There is a lot of that because a lot of them think that a man can have an abortion. There is a lot of that. But let me just say one thing, that there's actually a lot of young people that do get it. There's a lot of young people that do get it. Now, there's a great deal that don't. There's a great deal that think that, we need to vote because they're taking our rights away. And that's the reason why the left pushes it that way. They push it that way. And let me bring this up too. The Supreme Court making this decision now, I don't think they did it to rile up the left to do it, right? I don't think so, because they already had something that they were already pushing on. They were doing the Second Amendment because of what happened in Texas, Uvalde, Texas. They were saying they're going to use that to get people to get out and vote. So they already had something what they wanted. But this, I think the reason why this happened is because we have Supreme Court justices that did not back down to the intimidation from the left. The whole leak, and then they started getting, because think about it, they started getting people showing up at their homes, protesting against them. They had one guy show up to torture and murder Brett Kavanaugh, and they still didn't back down.
Yeah. Well, it's just the whole way this has unfolded is very suspicious to me, and with ulterior motives behind it. Now, I'd like to kind of switch from the political to the sociology part of it, that these unhinged kids do not know how to cope. We are going to see an uptick of self-harm. We're going to see upticks of abandoned kids, at fire stations or in dumpsters. We are going to see, because they can't cope. Or if they do have it, then they're going to abuse them.
Let me ask you a question. Are you suggesting that they're going to be more crime and stuff because of this ruling by the Supreme Court?
Yeah, because I don't think these young people know how to cope with anything. And a lot of it, I think a lot of these people are attention seeking, and they will literally do things to bring it to the news.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I had to do an abortion with a coat hanger,
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Yeah. So if we know that there's going to be young people to do that with the coat hanger and et cetera, do we not do the right thing by, what the Supreme Court did, or do we just leave it in place so that they don't do that?
No, the reason I'm bringing it up is so people are prepared, that everybody's feeling victorious, and God was on our side. Well, we're fixing to see a lot of stuff, and they're going to be shocked. People are going to be shocked by it. We're going to have a lot of kids, I have a feeling, ending up in the hands of child protection, which we all know is very, very dangerous, and there's rumors of trafficking and
I guess, but my question is, should the Supreme Court not do the right thing because of all of that, or should they still do the right thing?
Yeah, you got to be tough sometimes. The morals have deteriorated in this country to the point that it's unrecognizable. And I'm going to say something may not be very popular, because I'm a person that was raised in the 60s and 70s.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
That went through everybody fighting for abortion.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
They got the right to it. They got the right to get themselves out of trouble, out of a stupid, horrible mistake due to ignorance, laziness, whatever. They get themselves pregnant.
Okay.
But over the past 10 years, what I saw happening, and I'm a nurse, I'm just going to say it, I'm a nurse.
Okay.
When I started seeing Democrats saying, well, now we need to do them at up to 6 months. Now we need to do them up to 7, 8, 9. And now we're going to do it even right after delivery if the mother wants it. People lost their minds. Somebody brainwashed these people into thinking that you know, doing something maybe past 3 months of pregnancy was just totally justifiable. My body, my right and choice, and you know, that became murder. That, you know, and I know most people see an abortion at 3 months as murder. I do see that as murder, but sometimes there are huge ramifications for, you know, young girls being pregnant, not being able to go. You know, I went through all that back in the 70s. So like I say, I'm kind of, my mindset's kind of there, and saw what people were fighting for, because I grew up with people not being able to have abortions, and people getting married because they had to. There's so many facets to this that
Right, but let me if I can interject. Yeah, if I can interject.
Their minds about the late term abortion.
Right.
And you know what I would tell people? I would say, they would say, well, it's okay, because a woman has a right. If she wants to do it at 9 months, she can do it. I said, have you ever seen a video of an abortion at 9 months and how they do it and what it is? No.
Right.
And I said, well, wait, let me play it for you. I've got one. Let me play it for you, and you tell me if you honestly think this is murder and this is the right thing to be doing.
And you know what? And it's not. And it's not. And you know what? Thank you for your service, because I like to say this to people that, you know, in the medical field as well, for everything. And it's just, me personally, it's like, we should be held accountable for our actions. And and just to be realistic here, and I'm pretty sure you probably seen it, a lot of these women use it for a means of birth control, use it for like a get out of jail free card, you know, and we've lost our morals, right? Yeah, we lost our morals in this nation, thinking that we can just trash another human life because of our what we call our mistakes, because we did something we shouldn't have been doing in the first place. But now when we do these things, we should have to be held accountable for our actions. They want a get out of free jail. So it's just really crazy that's the way it is. Okay, go quick.
Another thing.
Okay.
I think these women, because these young girls are so domineering over men now, we are going to see vasectomy rates going up. Okay, they're going to be telling their boyfriend, "You better go get a vasectomy." Okay, or even their husband.
Well, you know what? I mean, but you know what? Again, that would be a choice they could make. But the biggest problem is that, you know, you shouldn't have to pay for someone else's mistake, and that's what was happening. We were being taxed for it. You should not have to pay for their mistake. If you want to call it a life of mistake, I don't call it a mistake.
Back in the day, back in the day, you had to pay for your abortion, $250, and women would be scrambling. They were lucky if the boyfriend gave them the money to do it, or, you know, but it was never government funded until all that passed.
Yep,
okay?
Absolutely. So,
and,
well, I'm happy. It looked like Planned Parenthood is going to be defunded. And it's for me, I see this as a great positive day. So, well, hey, Diana, I got to let you go. Thank you so much for the call, okay?
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, let's go to Vicky. Vicky from North Carolina. Hey, Vicky, thank you so much for the call.
Hi, Will. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is a great day.
Oh, you know, I watched your video this morning, and the smile and happiness you exuberated just over the screen was contagious. Let me tell you, I could see how happy you were. All of us were that way. But I know you're short on time. There's a couple things I want to make a comment about. It. No one talks about like people using abortions for birth control. I have a friend who's a nurse practitioner, and there's women that come in 6, 7, 8 times for abortion. And if someone can't call that murder, I don't know what else it is. To me, it's like people need to grow up now and get their big girl panties on and start taking responsibility of their personal actions in their personal life.
Yeah, and that goes for both women and men. Need to take responsibility for their actions.
Exactly, both sides. A lot of men put it off on the woman to handle it and take care of it, and they don't realize, you know, how much it affects a woman even 20, 30, 40 years. They'll always remember aborting that baby, that child. It stays with them. They don't forget it.
Yeah, you don't forget. You don't forget.
Thing too is I feel like the Democrats are out there, these leftist weirdos, trying to push so many lies because they didn't have a leg to stand on. They were in the dumps for this 2022 election coming up. Now they feel like they have something to stand on, something to argue about, because they're pushing so many lies about about gay marriages. You can't get married. You can't choose your own partner. You can't do this. The Supreme Court did not say no more abortions. They gave the people back their power.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They said, you know what, the federal government is. I mean, it's like the First Amendment. Right, the First Amendment, the federal government, these leftists, they want to take our First Amendment rights away and tell us what we can and can't say. And you have the federal government working with these social media outlets trying to censor what we can and can't say. They've already admitted to it. So it's the same thing when it comes to this. The Supreme Court, all they've done is said that the states, it goes back to the states the way the Constitution intended it to be. They don't like that because they lose control, because there will be some states that won't go along with it, and they don't want that. They want every state, and actually they want it to go beyond the states. They want the entire world to abort children.
Oh, totally. And for someone like, if you do the history, like I've watched your shows enough to even learn from you about the murder and killing of black babies that this Zenger woman wanted to do away with the African community, a population of people. And here's Maxine Waters, a black woman, standing out in our streets, yelling and saying, screw the Supreme Court, we're going to ignore them and let's riot and protest. She's a black woman. You think she would be on the other side, but that's not how she gets her pockets lined from all the money from stuff that she makes off of her crooked dealings or whatever. But and this thing with I saw earlier tonight, some people were starting to show up. One of the reporters on Tucker was saying that in the evening time, the look of people started changing. Some were in the mask, all black.
I called it out. I don't know. Did you see the video I did last night when I said it's DC on high alert?
Oh, yeah.
I called it last night. I said, look, they're going to be violent. DC is, and I was asking the question, is DC on high alert? And sure enough, and you're right. They started showing up when the sun goes down. And you know what it is?
And you know what?
Let me say this real quick. It's just like, I don't know if people ever notice this, but when I go camping and I'm outside during the day, there's, and you're cooking and stuff, the flies will fly around. But when the sun goes down, it's like the flies go away. And it's the same thing. The flies go away and then the other critters come out, right? But it's the opposite here. Yeah. During the daytime, they all act a certain way, but at night, the demons come out because it's like they feel like God is not shining any longer on them and God can't see them and they think they can get away with it. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
They can get away with more. It's evil. Evil loves darkness.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I mean, that's, that's what their world is like.
Yep.
But if they have the National Guard come in when those guys started showing up and start arresting every single one of them, pull them off the streets right then and there wouldn't be any rioting, protesting, looting, or whatever burning cars they're probably going to try to get away with. But our administration supports that kind of behavior. They don't want to send the National Guard in, obviously, from January 6th, but I won't go on to that subject. But, all they got to do is go in and arrest them and pull them off the streets, and there wouldn't be a problem.
Well, Joe Biden, I don't know if you saw it, but Joe Biden was saying that he's telling be peaceful, but I don't think like Maxine Waters and AOC and Antifa and BLM, they don't ever listen to Joe Biden. No one really listens to Joe Biden. I mean, the only time people listen to Joe Biden is because I play him and I go look at him because he says stupid stuff. That's the only time. But no one takes anything that he says serious. He's not even in control, in my opinion. So,
let's be honest here, Will. That's what the card told him to say.
I saw that. Yeah, that card. Oh my goodness. I mean, they gave him step for step. Sit down. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And then you have people on the left. They be like, "Oh man, he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job." Yeah. It's crazy.
We're supposed to look up to that man as our leader and president, and he has to read from a card. Stand up, sit down, say hello, say goodbye.
It's disturbing. It's 100% disturbing.
That's what the card told him to say, so that's why he said it.
It sure did. Wow. It's wow.
You know, and I'll leave you on this note. I have a friend whose sister worked in an abortion clinic as a nurse for 18, 20 years. Last year, at 52 years old, she committed suicide because the guilt and the horror stories and things she had to do and witness, counting body parts as they broke the baby apart in pieces. If anyone's ever seen what they do in those videos or in those abortions, they have videos of it. That poor woman committed suicide because of the anguish and guilt and suffering that she dealt with. So this is a good thing. And you know what? God was smiling and happy today. And I think we should declare June pro-life month.
Pro-life month. You know, because you're absolutely right. This should be pro-life month because they are, and you know what? This is like their sinful month. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened in June too, because no one is talking about their sinful, parades and stuff right now because they're angry, and it shines a light. Yeah. This shines a light over their, I mean, it literally, God is shining a light over their demonicness. Yeah. And they can't stand it.
The people that are upset and angry about this are the people that were born, the people that are alive.
Yeah, they're all alive.
They don't know about this. They don't care about the 60 million babies that have been murdered over the last 40 plus 9 years.
Exactly.
They're alive today.
Yep. So let me ask you one more question before I let you go. So what do you think about my little man down there dancing? And have you seen my new T-shirt?
Oh, yes. I saw your T-shirt tonight. In fact, I went on your UnitedAmericaFirst.com and ordered me one. I was going to get one in the maroon, in the men's, but it was out of stock. So then I saw you had the women's one, so I got me a navy one.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I can't wait
to wear it, and I'm going to tell everybody.
Yep.
Pro-life month is June.
I've been saying, hey, I told people, I said, you might want to get it while supplies last because the shirts are going like crazy. I mean, they're going like crazy.
Yes, it said out of stock already.
Yeah, that's what I said. Get them while supplies last because people are like getting them.
I'm not lying. It happened to me tonight, so I went and got the navy one instead. But yeah,
well, awesome.
And, it's like, and the other thing, like we can call June Pro-Life Month, and part of it can be because God wants his rainbow back and forget the Pride Month, right?
He wants his rainbow back, and he's going to add the 7 color back to it. So, absolutely. Well, hey, Vicki, thank you so much for the call.
I just love you to death. I don't know if you remember me. I followed you from the Travis Allen rallies out in Sacramento, down in Roseville.
Yep, I see you. I see you commenting on Facebook too, and I know that, Vicki.
I just love you, and I hope you and your family and everyone. You stayed in Texas. You must have liked it there.
Yeah, I'm here. So I'm here to still engage in the fight, though. So, well, hey, Vicki, thanks so much.
Hey, don't ever give up, Will. You've been doing this for a long time, and you're good at what you do, and we need people like you.
Thank you.
So hang in there.
Thank you. God bless. Take care.
I love you, Will. Thank you.
Love you back.
My call.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take care.
God bless.
God bless. All right, let's go to Jesse from Florida. Hey, Jesse, thank you so much for the call. Hello. How you doing, Jesse?
Hey, what's up, Will? Nice to talk to you, man.
Hey, appreciate it. What you got?
I just want to say I do like the dancing baby on the bottom of the screen there. So it's funny and cute. Just to start off with that.
Yeah,
and also,
I appreciate it.
I don't want to poo-poo. I don't want to poo-poo the whole Supreme Court ruling today. I think that's great.
Okay.
It's about time they started making some good decisions. But
I agree.
What gets me is the timing of this all, because it's been about 2 years now that they've been pushing the mRNA vaccine. And I'm just wondering, these women who have gotten the shot, if when they get pregnant and have a baby, if those little babies are going to come out deformed and such. Is that something you thought about?
So, do you think that the Supreme Court shouldn't do the right thing because that might happen?
No, I'm just thinking.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I have to be real careful too, because they'll say that they've already taken one of my channels down because I talked about the whole
Kung flu.
You know, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know I don't think that has anything to do with it per se. You know, and a lot of people are questioning the timing of it, you know, because it's right before the election, and they think they're going to use this to rally the people up, like the young lady called in a minute ago and mentioned it. I personally, I mean, I think we try to look too much into stuff, right? Because if this was something to benefit the left, right, to get them to go out and vote, I mean, they wouldn't be I mean, I can't see that they're looking at this as a benefit, because they're gonna end up going out being violent, and it's just gonna expose them even more.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, these little babies start popping out with little horns and tentacles, and then you know, we're gonna have little
I you know, I don't per se, I don't think that's gonna happen. But you know, hey, I'm not a physician. I don't give out any medical advice or anything like that. So. I mean, but see your point. Well,
it was just a thought. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Jess, thanks so much for the call. Take care.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Yeah, I mean, come on. All right, let's go. We got 1496, 1469. Sorry, 1469 is the last four. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
The conference has been locked.
Jerry Edwards.
Hey, Jerry.
And I'm from Lubbock, Texas.
Oh, you're here in Texas, too. Thank you so much, Jerry. What you got?
Yes, sir. Hey, first thing I want to do is welcome you to Texas, Will.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Listen, you and I both know that the Luciferians are in charge of what's going on. There's going to be a lot of violence going on. And they're not all Luciferians, but the Luciferians are doing a lot of brainwashing.
Yes, they
have
are.
warped the minds of many people.
Yes, sir.
And they can call them whatever they want to, the Democrats, whatever. But we know down deep inside that they're following the one world order, and it's all a Luciferian agenda. And we also know that, you know, the original reason for abortion, for abortion, was Margaret Sanger. She was trying to get rid of the colored people.
Yep.
That was the whole original deal.
Yep. She
And,
actually went to yeah, you're right.
About that.
Yeah, she actually went to some black churches and convinced the pastors to convince the black women to abort their children. And those pastors, you know what? It would not surprise me unless they repented before they died. But it wouldn't surprise me if they end up in hell for doing that very thing. They agreed. They went along with her for doing that, and it's completely repulsive.
Oh, I mean, when I read all of that, I've become, I don't know, I was sick at my soul. And here's the thing, though, that no matter what church you go to, all these churches are full of, the devil can be sitting right next to you in the church singing the same song you're singing, and in his heart he's worshiping Satan.
Yep.
You know, Baptist church, Catholic church, and any Christian that says they're for abortion, and a lot of the other things that the Luciferians are for, but abortion being the main thing.
Yep.
I'm a Christian. I'm a devout Christian, but I'm for abortion. They're Luciferian at heart. They're going to claim to be Christian, but they're just like anyone sitting in the church. The church is full of, how do you think they infiltrate the church, and then they brainwash preachers to allow, and this is one of my things, lesbians and gay people cannot run a church. You cannot have a preacher that is a lesbian or a gay person. The Bible says that don't work.
You know what? You're 100% correct. You are 100% correct.
And I'm a whole lot about that Bible and the Constitution too. I'm about the Constitution too. And nowhere in the Constitution did it give women the right to have an abortion. And I don't see how abortion is health care I think what abortion boils down to is it gives them permission to go out and be promiscuous. I seen one lady on YouTube bragging about having 26 abortions. She was bragging about how many different men she had been with.
That is
bragging
disgusting.
about how many men she'd been with.
Yeah, that is disgusting.
Well, it was. I sat there and I've been married 50 years, Will. You know, I'm an old veteran too. I've seen a few things.
Well, thank you
But
for your
that lady,
service.
26 abortions. It was an honor, sir. Guys like you made it an honor.
I appreciate that.
Yep. And for me, you're serving right now, and I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're just there's so much stuff that goes on, and people, they just like all them guys, them women laying down in the street with fake blood on their crotches and all that stuff. Oh
yeah, I seen
that.
How
can people lower themselves to that?
I know. I'm looking at that, and you know what? You know what that comes down to? This comes down to these people do not believe in God. They do not trust in God. They reject God at every step of their life. They reject God, and that's the reason why they do that. It's grotesque. You see them doing it, and they're putting all that stuff down in their crotch like that. You know, at one point they were wearing the kitty cat hat, and now they're just spraying it. I mean, this is repulsive.
It was unreal. And y'all mentioned something I'd heard about the rape trees, and I hadn't really heard a lot about it. So I looked up some pictures 30 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, of the rape trees down on the Mexican border.
It's horrible.
And I was, but you know, they're in India. In India, there was a picture of a lady hanging from a tree after she'd been gang raped. They owned her. But the thing is, the ones I was looking at are down along the border, and how can our current government support anything like that at all? I just don't get it.
They don't. They don't stop it.
Get it, Lucifer.
Yeah, they are. They are of their father Satan, and that's why they don't try to stop it. And that's why they're it's like they're encouraging more people to come across the border for more of that to happen. It's just a demonic time.
But there's other things. There's other people coming across that border too.
Yes, sir.
If you're an Iranian terrorist,
yes, sir.
And you're a rich man and you're on the list and you can't fly in the United States, you can fly to Mexico.
Yep.
And walk across that river, and you're a terrorist in the United States.
Yep.
And they won't send you back because you walked across illegally.
Yep. Exactly. They're happy to even pay these terrorists if they don't catch them. It's crazy. So
yeah, they don't. And some of the things I see is how much money it costs to get across the border to get the coyotes to bring you across. If I had that much money and I lived in Venezuela, I'd be a rich man.
Yep, absolutely. But they're willing to spend all of it to come here.
How does a Venezuelan person who's starving to death get to that border and have that much money to get across that border?
Yes, sir. Exactly.
And I saw another deal the other day about, in Venezuela, they don't have pets. Somebody said, why? I said, because they ate them.
They ate them. They don't, there's no zoo animals.
They ate them.
There's no zoo animals. They ate them.
And I'm afraid we're headed that direction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have stocked up a couple of cans of soup and some beans and rice myself.
Yep. I hear you.
But,
I hear you. Well, hey,
it's unreal the way that all this is going on.
You know what? It's so much of it's going on.
The bottom line is this: all these people that are going to be rioting tonight and over the weekend and stuff, they're not going to go to jail.
No, they're going to bail them out. They're going to bail them out.
They would be running up there and locking them up just like they did on the 6th. We're going to lock them all up. We're going to hunt them down. And we're going to put them in, and we're not going to give them bond. We're not going to give them due process. But all the Democrats, I'll say Democrats, Antifa, all the ones that burnt cities and stuff in Oregon and around, none of them went to jail for any of it.
Nope. Except for actually, there's some in San Diego of all places, California. There was some that went to jail there, and they all been prosecuted. So it's been pretty awesome. So, well, hey Jerry, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for the call, sir. And please call me again.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed talking to you. I've been watching you for a long time, and like I said, we're glad to have you here in Texas, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, take care.
God bless you.
God bless you. Take care. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's see here. All right, cool beans. Thank you so much for sharing the video. Thank you for being with me. I went over 2 hours. It's been a minute since I've done this. It says 2 hours and 20 minutes. Wonderful callers, just wonderful callers. I didn't get anyone to call in that, per se, disagree. Say, no, it should have never been overturned. And it's mainly because the censorship, they prevent them from seeing my videos. And the ones that do see the videos, they're too scared to call in and talk to me. You notice I didn't curse. I don't curse. I don't have to. I mean, I can get my point across without doing it. And I'm not knocking people who use enhanced language. It's just, I don't need to. So I'm not gonna call you, nasty names or anything. And, I want to have the conversation. That's why I like going out. I want to have the conversation. And, there's been a couple of times where I like looking at this stuff and I want to go out. But here in Austin, they actually, they're really violent. They're kind of like Portland. So when they do come out, they're extremely violent. And I was thinking about maybe going out. Maybe I'll do something tomorrow. We'll just see if something presents itself. So, but anyways, thank you, everybody. I saw a couple people send me some super chats, and I will say, let me say real quick, thank you to the people on the super chats on YouTube. As Vern, Joe Brandon, thank you. LM, Kevin, thank you, Kevin, for becoming a member. Let me say this too. If you go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com/donation, I should change that. I'm going to change it to member, because I'm asking people if you want to sponsor me as like a membership, like they do on YouTube and other places. I'm going to ask you to do it on my website, because I like it there. And the only reason why I have it there on YouTube, because some people prefer it. I mean, really do. But if you go to my website right now, it's uniteamericafirst.com/donation, but I'm going to change it to membership. And I'm going to do extra perks there. So I'm going to ask people, I'm going to start pushing it more, and I'm going to ask people to subscribe there. You can subscribe there, so I'm going to ask people to do it there, because YouTube, they're real finicky. As soon as you like this video here, they, the leftists, they probably won't like it, but I still thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And then there's, yep. And again, thank you for the support, Kevin. And then, Pato, I'm not sure how you pronounce all of that, but thank you so much as well for the super chat. And JD WC003, thank you so much. These people are not mentally sane out in the streets. And you're absolutely correct. They are not mentally sane out in the streets. Thank you so much. All right, cool. I'm not seeing the stars. My producer, she has a way she can see the stars. I'm not even sure how it happens, but I want to thank everybody for sharing the video. And thank you so much. This has been a long one, so I can understand if people don't want to watch it after this, because it's really long. But I enjoyed talking to people. So Friday nights, I typically do this. Have a safe, wonderful weekend. Be mindful. Be mindful. Watch your back. Just be mindful, because these people are crazy. God bless everybody. Good night.